Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you're watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Joining me from the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks podcast is my co-host, Rebellious D. How you doing today, bro?
Good, man. Ready to rock.
Hey, I'm ready to rock too. And as you can see in the background, we are going to be talking about Final Fantasy VII. It's the 25th anniversary of one of the greatest RPG games of all
Most
time.
Iconic. Yes,
Most
sir.
iconic. So before we get into this little discussion and, just singing his praises, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. D, like you say every time.
As always, podcast in the description. Before anything, when you see the like button, I want you to yell out, "Look out, it's Lord Frieza." And when the like button turns its back, I need you to hit him. You need to click that thing as hard as you can.
Hey, I thought you was about to say, if you see two dogs outside, I'm upstairs going hard. Bing bong. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this. So Final Fantasy VII, it came out in Japan January 31st, 1997. And just to let you guys know, January is my birthday month. My birthday just passed. So it was a couple of days after my birthday when it came out in 1997. But we didn't get it over here in the States until September 7th of the same year. Now, D, I don't know about you, but I didn't play Final Fantasy VII when it first came out. I didn't even have a PlayStation back then. I had a Nintendo 64. And the first time that I actually played the game, I want to say it was probably 98 when it was the first time I played it.
I would actually agree. It had to be somewhere around 98, 99 when I first played it. Maybe 98, 97. But I remember that my cousin, he had the PlayStation. He would always bring it over to our grandma's house. And then, it was one of those games. He was a big sports guy, but he always had those other games.
Yeah.
And, that was my first taste of it. And I just, so many iconic characters came out of that game.
Sure,
basically
man.
All of them.
Yeah.
So it was just amazing. But
bro, it's crazy.
Valentine, he's one of my favorites. Yeah, one of my favorites of all time. Super sick.
What's crazy is that you mentioned that your cousin brought it over. Like, that's how I was introduced to the game as well. I was in Maryland. I was over at my aunt's house, and I had saw the game. I had never played a PlayStation before. All I had ever played was the Nintendo 64. So when I saw it, and I saw that it was 3 discs, my cousin had told me, he was just like, nah, you got to play disc 1 first. And then once you get further in the game, you put in disc 2 and then later disc 3. And I was just like, nah, I'm just going to start with disc 3 and see what happens. But unfortunately, it didn't work. And then I finally put in disc 1 and I played it. I didn't know what I was doing. I kept dying. And I was just like, yeah, this game is whack. It wasn't until 1999, now that I was a little bit older and I could actually beat video games now. I tried it out again. I was at a different cousin's house this time, and I actually beat the first boss. And I was just like, man, this game is pretty fun. Because I feel like when you're a kid, especially for games like Final Fantasy, you really don't know what you're doing for real. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just used to playing games like Sonic and Super Mario and whatnot. I wasn't used to playing RPG games at the time. So,
for sure. I definitely felt like that was one of the ones that revolutionized it for us. And it was like, that was the game that I remember had like all this dialogue and requires you to read and kind of follow this complex story. That was the one that I really, because for the most part we had Sonic and Mario, but it was like Final Fantasy was so complex for its time and so enjoyable. And I mean, and one of the greatest villains of all time,
Sephiroth.
I mean, come on. I mean, put some respect on his name. Man. Yes, sir.
Yeah, like you said, he's one of the greatest RPG villains of all time. Like, so many people love Sephiroth. And, to see the longevity that this game has had over the years and whatnot. And, Final Fantasy VII has been re-released so many times on so many different consoles. And we finally got the remake when it came out in 2020, and it was such an awesome game, and I can't wait until part 2 comes out. I think that they said that it's a possibility, or not a possibility, it's a rumor that we're going to be getting some information on it this year. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully they release it on the PS4, because a lot of us still don't have PS5s yet because they're hard to get. And I think that it would be a bad move to not release it on the PS4, where you know, a lot of the fan base, they still have that system. But D, I want to ask you, you already said that Vincent Valentine is your favorite character from the game. What was one of your favorite moments from Final Fantasy VII?
I mean, I think just Cloud and inheriting the Buster Sword. I think that was a big one.
Zach?
I mean, yep. And it was just you know, I don't want to say a changing of guard, but it's just one of those moments, you know, that you just remember. Or Sephiroth with the iconic kill, you know. Yeah. Killed your girl, and then I mean, it's just stuff you just don't forget.
Now, were you like one of those people that was just like, well, how could he kill Aerith? Like, why didn't they just use a Phoenix down to bring her back? Were you one of those type of people?
No, I think no, because I just feel like it's one of those situations when somebody's gone for long enough or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, it's a good question, but I don't know. Maybe he put a spell on her. I don't know. Hey, that's a good question.
I'm gonna tell you, when I had the Game Shark, I brought her back to life. I needed Aerith for my party because her limits were awesome. Being able to heal the entire party, being able to
that's always that's just
and stuff like that. It's like I felt like you needed to get all of her limits before she died. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And
hell yeah,
grinding on that game, it did take a long time for some of the stuff, but it was worth it once you got certain limit breaks and all that other stuff. For me, my favorite moment was when Cloud finally starts getting his memories back of everything, because, you know, for the longest time playing the game, we thought that Cloud was this badass, but then we find out that he pretty much was just living off of Zach's memories. And to finally see Cloud get those memories back and being in Nibelheim during the whole thing with Sephiroth, and you know, him standing up for himself and defeating Sephiroth, and like, because he was just a low-class soldier that was able to do it. So I thought that was pretty dope. That was one of my favorite moments in the game. Let us know in the comments what some of your favorite moments were from the game. Let us know how you felt about the Final Fantasy VII remake. I mean,
oh yeah,
so many you know, things have came from Final Fantasy VII. You know, when you see it in other different games and whatnot, the references, or like how Final Fantasy VII, it set the foundation for other RPG games and elements that you see in those games. So it's a reason why that this game is one of the best games of all time when it comes to RPGs. The characters, the story, the music. I used to be so obsessed with this game back in the day when I first played it, and when Final Fantasy VIII came out, I was just like, man, I like Final Fantasy VIII, but it's no Final Fantasy VII. You know what I'm saying? So it's a reason why this game has had the longevity that it's had. And also the spinoffs, you know, Dirge of Cerberus, Advent Children, just so many. And it deserves all of its flowers. It deserves all of the credit. And I'm glad for 25 years, it's still been going strong. D, is there anything else that you want to say before we wrap this thing up?
Just for anybody out there, you know, leave us your favorite characters in the comments. And also, if you haven't by any chance played this game, you know, maybe if you're a younger listener, make it a point to play especially you get to play the remake. So that's a plus for you. You don't have to go back and play what we played. And I think that makes it easier for newer generations. But yeah, get your hands on a copy of it and check it out.
Hey, and one other thing, we review Superman and Lois on our channel, and Tyler Hoechlin, who is Superman and Superman and Lois, he voices Sephiroth in the Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, yep, remake. There you go.
So, you know what I'm saying? So make sure you check out our reviews for Superman and Lois as well. And with that being said, thank you for watching our little celebration for Final Fantasy VII. D, let them know where they can find you at in social media land.
You can find me at rebellious_D23 Instagram.com. And Banks, if they need a hero, where can they find one?
Hey, you can find me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you again for watching this video. Make sure you check out some more of our videos that we have on the channel. Keep that pinky up. Stay positive. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. podcast. We got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.